Yeah. Here we go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Before I even get started on today's thought, can we please just give Mr. Coach Andy Reid his props? My goodness, for you to go back to another Super Bowl, taking on the team that fired you a few years ago, and come back after winning a Super Bowl with your new team, and then come back to your second Super Bowl and then play against a team that let you go. That tells you something about his system. That tells you something about his system, his philosophy, and it translates so well. It translates so well into the business world. It translates so well into the corporate world, into the working world, understanding that things move by a system. Establish a solid system, and you can never get fired. You can never get fired. You just switch locations. When you establish a system, when you establish a solid system, no one can ever fire you. You just simply switch locations and now you can start to dictate. You can start to look for places in which you're appreciated. Go do the research. Andy Reid, all right, is a former offensive line and strength and conditioning coach. And if you watched the two games yesterday, the reason the San Francisco 49ers lost the game is because they couldn't keep their quarterback protected. They couldn't block. They could not stop the pass rush. And in turn, the reason that the Cincinnati Bengals lost the game is because, listen, Joe Burrow had his opportunities to win it, but they couldn't keep him protected. He can't throw passes when he's laying on his back. He can't throw passes when he's getting knocked up inside his head. All right, so it's very important that you establish a system. And in regards to, in regards to the system that you need to focus on, I want to give you guys a very just prime example. Front team. If you know the acronym swiftly, it's skilled, well-informed front team. Your front team workers have to be a priority. All right, the front team workers are the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, that crew of people that you don't necessarily give a shit about unless they're holding or unless they're sacked. Like, you don't understand. They don't make the money that a Tyreek Hill makes, right? They don't make the money that a Patrick Mahomes makes because they don't get the notoriety and all that kind of stuff. But filling up those front team workers is what's going to give yourself a chance every single day. Since I just because I brought them up, but look at here's another prime example. Tyreek Hill left the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Same number 10, and then the Kansas City Chiefs brought in another Tyreek Hill type talent. In many ways, in certain situations, he's almost looks like he's better than Tyreek Hill, right? I know he's a whole lot cheaper. Same guy in New Jersey, had just the same effect that Tyreek Hill had. However, the Miami Dolphins are paying him way more, like just a ridiculously more amount of money. However, you see the effect on the game is virtually the same. It's not that big of a difference when it comes to this new number 10. I believe his name is Poncho or something like that, versus the Tyreek Hill that's making hundreds of millions of dollars. So who really won in that trade, right? So it's all about, and this, I know a lot of football coaches and a lot of business folks really keep up with my work. I want you guys to understand, as you're going out and doing your day-to-day, if you want to have that Andy Reid effect to where you have that system, that excellent system that you can put whoever it is in that. Even another example, like if you really think about it, last week when Patrick Mahomes got hurt, Chad Henne stepped in and he scored a touchdown. He drove the team down for a touchdown. It's all about your system. So I strongly recommend, whether you're in business or whether you're in football and you're listening to me right now, figure out who your front team workers are, those frontline workers, those workers that, you don't really get the notoriety that they deserve. However, they're so very important to the overall whole of the organization, right? I'd strongly recommend you figure out those front team workers, shore up that front team work, and then you'll start to see your system come to play, and just give yourself an opportunity every single year. It's absolutely crazy. I'm picking, because of that, I got as much as I like Jalen Hurts, I got to pick the Chiefs for the Super Bowl. Especially since I grew up a Redskins fan and I got an opportunity to watch Andy Reid dominate the NFC East for my entire childhood. I mean, listen, again, that system, it's all about the systems, guys. It's all about the systems. Think about your system, especially up front. I mean, as a former offensive lineman, I've had so many great O-line coaches. I don't even have time to talk about them all right now. But I was watching, I'm like, man, you see, that's this game. They can't, the dudes ain't taking their steps. You got 4 quarterbacks coming in. You got a quarterback in who can't even throw because his elbow's too fucked up because the pass rush was just too strong. I'm telling you, man, it comes through every single game. And that's what's beautiful about this game, man. The game is pure. The game is always right. It's like they said, my man Denzel said in Remember the Titans, it's like the game, man, the game is always right. Win, loss, I mean, it's just always right. It always happens the way it's supposed to happen. If we're being honest, the Cincinnati and Kansas City Chief game, I believe Kansas City should have blown them out. If you really think about it, Joe Burrow only had 2 or 3 long, it was like big plays. There was never really a drive in which the Cincinnati Bengals just dominated them and took the ball down and scored. It was the big play to, I believe, 83, Higgins. It was the big play to Higgins, and then it was another big play to Jamar Chase. So they never really got a chance to dominate the game because they didn't have it up front. For the second year in a row, they didn't have it up front. They just didn't have it up front, all right? If you want to dive deeper into my world, it's makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and personal development needs. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.